Today I'm going to teach you about how to find great employees. Now, whether you're hiring for sales, customer service, any sort of position that they're going to have to interact with a customer, which is most sales positions, but not all sales positions. But if they're going to have to interact face to face or with their voice on the phone, one thing that you can do is this. Ask them to send you a short video on why you should hire them. You know, resumes can be deceptive. You can look at a resume, it might just be made up. It may look really good, but you really don't get to know a person till you can actually see a video of them talking, speaking, and interacting with you a little bit though. You can see some of the important traits. Some of the traits that I look for is this: integrity. If you hire someone that's honest, that has great integrity, that's super important. I'm going to show you how to validate integrity. Also, you're going to want to look for energy. If they're passionate and they got energy and they're excited, that's phenomenal. If that's in that video, you've probably got someone who's a little bit easier to work with. You also want to check capacity. Typically, capacity has to happen in the interview process. So you're going to ask them questions and get feedback. But that video is definitely going to give you a big read on their energy and the type of person they are from a first impression point of view. Another thing you can do after that video, if it's good, you can take them to that next level. Let's say you're looking at a resume, verify some of those references, but don't call the person that's on the reference. Literally call the place that they worked and ask for like the HR department and then ask some questions. Hey, was this person great or not? Is this something that someone that you would rehire? Now, check with your attorney first before you ask them these questions, because there's different laws and regulations for different things. And literally, one thing that I would recommend though, if you are a business and someone's validating with you, really you want to be very careful on the information you disclose, because each state can have different regulations and laws. Sometimes the answer is I can't comment on that. In some states you can say, well, they worked for me for this amount of time, great, and that's all you can say. So be very careful, but you should be able to ask whatever questions that you want from the actual reference. Now, one thing that's even better than that, better than checking references, is simply doing a few things. Googling their name, because great people leave great history in their wake. So by Googling their name, you can see the kind of stuff that's about them on the internet. Now, if there's a bunch of crazy pictures of them doing crazy things that you wouldn't want them to, do in your office, well, maybe that helps you make some decisions. You can also look at their LinkedIn, their Facebook, their Instagram, their Twitter, all their social media. That's going to give you an idea of the type of person that you're hiring and if that's a good match for you. Okay? Very, very important to do those things. Now, one thing that we do in a lot of our companies is we have drug screenings and things like that. You definitely don't want people operating dangerous equipment if they're under the influence of drugs, obviously, because they could hurt themselves and somebody. You got to make sure you go through all these steps. And finally, when you're giving the employee the test for the job, let's say you're hiring a graphic designer, okay? Well, simply tell them to design you a brochure based on the information that they see on your website or the information that you've given them about your company. Or maybe you talk to them and tell them about your company for a minute and say, design a brochure, okay? And download any pictures that you want or whatever off the internet and make me just a mock-up, okay? You're not gonna use it because they're just gathering everything, but you're gonna get an idea of their ability to solve problems and be creative, okay? Now, if they're fixing computers, for example, or phones or whatever, like in my business, fix this phone, fix this computer, design this ad, right? Reconcile this bank statement if it's for accounting. If they can do it in the correct amount of time or quick and accurately, you've found someone who's a good fit. So those are some of the tips that I have when I'm interviewing and recruiting people to build my teams. I hope it helps you. So watch this over and over again and give it a shot. I think you'll screen through a lot of riffraff, but you'll find some wonderful human beings to work with.